Okay, so this is the natal chart reading for Roxanne Foo. So we got for you for your natal chart. So you're a Capricorn Sun, Capricorn Moon, and Capricorn Mercury, and they're all in conjunction. So you are like literally like very Capricornian. However, you have a Sagittarius rising. So like people who know you probably you might appear like Sagittarius is kind of like happy-go-lucky sign, but like Capricorn is more of like a melancholy, more like calculating sign per se, more like based on achievement. So the Sagittarius energy is kind of like a cover-up. So like no offense, but like Capricorns are kind of known for like being like cold and like cruel, whereas like Sagittarius is more like a party sign. So you're probably like the life of a party, but you probably might get sick of certain people at the party and you might like push them away. So your Venus is almost conjunct to your ascendant, just missed it, and your Venus is in the 12th house. So Venus is all about like how you express affection and your charisma and like how you like attract people. So that probably does help you out having like your Venus almost conjunct your ascendant. But then you have your Mars in Pisces. So you have a square between your Venus and your Mars. So that could lead to a lot of difficulties or like growing challenges with like, Mars deals with like your desires and like your drive, deals with like your stomach, whereas Venus deals more with like your lungs per se, right? So like, the feedback between Venus and Mars for you is going to be more of a struggle. And but over time, so this is like, squares, are like, it's like green energy, it's like you eat your greens, you don't want to eat your vegetables because they taste gross, but they're going to make you be big and strong. So like over time, like having this square is going to like develop a lot of character and it's going to benefit you in the long run. However, you're going to have to go through a lot of trials and tribulations dealing, with that square. So then bam, you have your Jupiter in Aries, and so this is it almost squares your Sun, Moon, and Mercury, but not really. So like a lot of your experiences, Jupiter deals with like your luck, experiences, wisdom, some spirituality. So Jupiter, being in Aries, I don't think Jupiter minds being in Aries. It's not as bad as like Saturn in Aries, which can also sometimes be good, but you got your Jupiter in Aries, and then you have your Saturn in Taurus. I don't think Saturn minds being in Taurus either, but it's retrograde. So having your Saturn retrograde is actually a good thing. Saturn is like probably one of the only planets that you want to have retrograde. That's very helpful. So your midheaven is in Virgo. And so I think that's interesting that your midheaven's in Virgo, because when I took a look at your draconic chart made you a Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon. And your rising is now Leo. So it's kind of similar. Your draconic chart, if you don't know what that is, it's like they take your north node and south node and they flip it for your houses. So the houses stay the same, but the signs change. And it represents like your like north node per se. So yeah, your midheaven and your draconic chart do correlate to Virgo energy. So you might feel like your soul is like a Virgo, and like Virgo and Capricorn kind of like, kind of correlate, because like the story is that like Virgo or Persephone was like taken by Scorpio into Hades, and then like, Capricorn is like the king of the underworld per se. So it's like, you don't need to take it literally. Some people might get offended by like talking about like dark, like mythological kind of like interpretations of astrology, but it's not necessarily true per se. Because when they talk about like Capricorn being like a dark sign, it's like literally because it deals with the winter solstice, and that's the darkest time of the year. So, but it's also the coolest time of the year. So Capricorns are very cool. Capricorns are definitely my favorite signs. I love Capricorns. So taking a look at your 4 pillars of destiny. So you're born in the year of the Earth Rabbit, and Earth deals with, like, in Chinese astrology, Earth deals with, like, resourcefulness and community values. And the rabbit, so it says people born in this year tend to be modest, sensitive, and affectionate, but also sentimental and too obliging. And the key word is ripeness. So this deals with, like, everybody in, like, the year that you were born. Like, you guys all, like, had this, like, similar kind of, like, group think per se, like, kind of like mentality, and this is, like, kind of like what it correlates to, right? So then your second pillar, dealing with, like, the month that you were born, is the fire ox. And so fire deals with charisma and, like, passion and love. And it says in later life you may become hardworking, reliable, and devoted, but also stubborn and rigid. So your daymaster. The daymaster is the wood rat. So yeah, wood deals with networking, creativity, and branching out. And it says in your middle years you will tend to be sharp-witted, flexible, and charming, but also lazy and quick-tempered. So now, your intimate sign. So this is, like, kind of like your socialized self. This is, like, how you become socialized. This is, like, you know, like, kind of like your Merkaba per se, like, you know, your birthday, kind of like your rotation per se, and placement. And this is, like, your year, and then this is your intimate part. So it says fire rabbit. And so, you know, you gotta know the difference between, like, yin and yang when it comes to elements, because they have different kind of, like, capabilities. Where it comes to, like, yin fire deals with the ability to, like, sell yourself and sell products, whereas, like, yang fire is more about charisma and being, like, a leader. But so it says here, your natural self is modest, sensitive, and affectionate, but also sentimental and too obliging. So the rabbit, so the rat is a competitive kind of animal spirit. So your socialized self might come off as competitive. And so yeah, the rat does correlate to Capricorn. So you have a lot of Capricorn energy, and you know, you might come off as competitive, and people might try to compete with you, which might, you know, bother you. So the rabbit and the ox, I feel like deals with thinking. So you're probably a really deep thinker, very good thinker. People respect your thoughts and opinions. And the rabbit deals with diplomacy. So you're probably a very diplomatic person. And yeah. So now I'm gonna go into your nakshatras. And so going back, so we got about 15 degrees, 17 degrees area for Capricorn, and so that deals with Purva Ashada. And so I feel like that's the male monkey. So yeah, that's like a Brahmin sign. And then oops, I don't like it when that happens. So okay, so that's all kind of like, all right, so bam bam bam, 1 2 3, yeah, you have a triple, you're a triple Purva Ashada, which is a male monkey, and deals with, like, it's a Brahmin cast nakshatra. And so your Venus is 8 degrees Sag, which is so that's Anurada. So that's the female rabbit, and that's a diva spirit. Purva Ashada is a Manuasha spirit. Deva deals with, like, angelic energy. And yeah, Anurada is ruled by Saturn. I think Purva Ashada is ruled by Venus. And so Mars in Pisces, 2 degrees Pisces, I believe that is Dhanista. So yeah, that's Dhanista. That's a female lion ruled by Mars. And so yeah, okay, so your desires, since you have the Dhanista, you got to understand when it comes to nakshatras and like energy, like, you know, animal spirits, herbivorous animals are popular and carnivorous animals are unpopular. And carnivorous spirits can scare people away. So being like a monkey, you might have a lot of friends, but sometimes your desires might be too intense for people to handle, and it might drive people away. Whereas like having your Venus in Anurata might attract a lot of people. So when you might like have to utilize your Mars to get rid of people that like, you know, bother you or drain you or this and that. So Jupiter 25 degrees Aries, that nakshatra that's Revati, the prosperous. So it deals with Buddha, Mercury, and it deals with so I think that's either a female or male elephant. I can't tell. So that's a very, very, very good placement to have. However, Mercury and Jupiter are like kind of opposites because Jupiter is like an old man, like a father or grandfather, and Mercury is like a young child. So that could create a feedback loop that is negative, but it also can lead you to a lot of very awesome experiences. And so now Saturn in 10 degrees Taurus. So that deals with Bharani. So that's the other counterpart to the elephant nakshatras. So your Venus and your Jupiter are going like hand in hand. You can get a lot of feedback from that per se. So they might be like your Saturn and Jupiter seem to be very well placed per se. But however, you know, Bharani is ruled by Venus. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know you personally, so like I can't tell you your life experiences. I can only just like prophesize on it. So like that's where I'm coming from. So now fixed stars. 15 degrees. Okay, so we got Manu Briam and Vega. So you got a double star for your sun. So we got Omicron, Sagittarius. So yeah, you have a Sagittarius star. So you're a Sagittarius star seed in a Capricorn house. So you might, you know, like you might be good at shooting people down per se, and you might be very wise. So this is 3.8 magnitude star. It's a Sagittarius star, and so that's only one of your two stars conjunct your fucking sorry, excuse my language. Your sun, your like moon. Not your moon, but yeah, wait, no, not your moon. More your sun. This one, I think, hold up. I don't like losing my placements out here. So 15 degrees Vega. The falling eagle. So this is Alpha Lyrae. This is this is a massive star. It's 0 magnitude. And like 0 magnitude. So this might be one of the brightest stars, I think, in our solar system. Nature of Venus and Mercury. It gives benefits, ideality, hopefulness, refinement, and changeability. So yeah, this is a really good star to have with a Sagittarius star, because Sagittarius energy can be very warlike. So this could help balance you out. And you know, you had a lot of diplomatic energy in your 4 pillars of destiny. So this could be like your saving grace. This is a very, very bright star, and this can make you a very successful person. This is the falling eagle landing. So like, that's a trip, huh? So this could, you know, be careful with that, because you don't want to like shoot too high, you know, and then fall and not make it and crash and burn. But like, sometimes you like need to know like when to like take a step back and descend and not be like too like pretentious and too like above people, just like, no offense to Capricorns, but like that's kind of like how a lot of Capricorns do come across. However, okay, so Venus and Sagittarius 8 degrees is okay. So you got Han and Antares. So Antares is Alpha Scorpio, and Han is the knee of Ophiuchus. And this is dealing with your Venus. Okay, so Ophiuchus and Scorpio going on. This is Zeta Ophiuchi. That's probably not a very bright star. I think Zetas are pretty far behind, or maybe in the middle.